Again, first hour was mainly spent on Brady Tkachuk, on what I think most fans, certainly post-game, our thoughts, most people texting in this morning, one of his worst games that he's played for the Sens. And he wasn't alone. That whole line was terrible. He, Pinto, and Zetterlund they were on the ice for the first two goals. Like clear defensive breakdowns on both of the first two. You pointed out the second one in particular, the one off the backboard. That's Brady Tkachuk just falling asleep because Marino's a defenseman, and he's just not.
He's not aware.
He's not aware. And again, Brady Tkachuk is never being confused with a Selke Trophy nominee. Understand that, but he's gotten better. But that's just kind of add that up to everything else that went wrong last night, and that's why there's a target right now on the captain in particular. And this doesn't happen in the, Brady Tkachuk's been playing hockey here in Ottawa since 2018. I can count on the fingers of one hand, absolutely on the fingers of one hand, the number of times in which he has been the main topic after a Sens loss in a negative way.
Can you remember the last time?
I don't even remember if there's been one time.
Exactly.
Actually, sorry. There's been one time.
All right.
And it's when he had the odd time when he loses his cool and gets thrown out of a game, and it's a close game, right? That's happened a handful of times over the 8 years.
Do you not want to see that again, though?
Well, I was going to say that, but also close game, but also the only other criticism I can think that comes, I can't remember ever arriving this morning, and I listened to a little bit of the post game last night, but then I get here this morning, and the text messages you send the station, we can see them, go back in time. So I read all the text messages from the post-game show last night, and it's Brady, like a lot. I'm like, wow. And then this morning, same. We're having I can't remember it ever really being like this. I can't. In his entire time as an Ottawa Senator, like coming off a game. Because to your point, close game. And the only other criticism I can think that it's not even consistent, but it's come up from time to time. I think especially when the team wasn't very good, where the coach never liked their game. They weren't playing well at all those years. And then the frustration would set in, and it's towards the end of the game, and then over the top, screaming at somebody and scrums and get kicked him, and it was kind of kicked out of the game. And then he'd get criticized he's got to mature, he's got to, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never, ever, ever seen it like this, critical of, it's like, oh, what was that? Like, where's the engagement? Where's that drag the team into the fight, Brady? And because it's just beyond rare. But last night's a game like that. And everybody, all of us, nobody's beyond reproach of being point out when you don't perform well. The captain did not perform well last night. So it's notable. It doesn't mean he's a terrible player, you hate the guy. It's just like, it wasn't good enough. And he wasn't alone, but it wasn't good enough for Brady Tkachuk last night.
The discussion has mainly been on, and last night was maybe the most egregious example of his play this year, which, it's been a simmering topic. Not topic one, but an off and on topic, especially since he's come back after the hand surgery, of, man, Tkachuk just doesn't seem to be playing as well as he normally does. And then the discussion moves to, how much is his hand still bothering him? It still has a wrap on it. It came up again after he got popped by Stanley the other day. Then he talked on Monday morning and said, everybody knows I can't fight because he's got tape on his hand. You're not allowed to. It's an automatic suspension if you fight with tape on your hand, for those that don't know the rule. So, how much is that kind of, if it is, sort of hindering the type of play we're seeing? And the other is just, how much, as many people are suggesting, is I want to make sure I'm healthy for the upcoming Olympics, a part of it. So that's only a question that Brady Tkachuk knows the answer to. But I will just say, for me, just observing, and this is not just based on last night. Last night was just kind of the exclamation point on it. He just doesn't feel as emotionally engaged in games this season as we're used to. He has been, in his entire time here in Ottawa, the heartbeat of the team. And I can say, for me, watching the games this year, the heartbeats of the team are clearly Jake Sanderson and Tim Stützle, and Brady Tkachuk is way in the rearview mirror on that. And that is just For me, that's the shocking part. I'm used to kind of the three horsemen, and he's not there this year for whatever reason there may be.
Well, injured in
I
the
don't know
home
if you guys
opener.
agree. It's
Yeah,
fair.
no,
It's not.
no, that's
Well, have we seen one?
it's not about fair. It's about being accurate. That's an accurate statement. When you go pecking order of heartbeat of the team so far this season, the players that are like it's Sanderson and Stützle. Brady's not he's not in the top two, and he's not even. And this is not an excuse; it's a reality. He missed so much time. It's like, no, you're not there. But
Have we seen one Brady Tkachuk game this year where he stood out, where
Oh yeah.
he collected
He said. Oh yeah.
oh yeah,
6 or 7?
Yep.
So it's not like he's not capable.
No.
That's what
There's just
brings
been-
forward the
there's been
questions
far-
even more.
There's been far fewer of them. Been
Yes,
far fewer
absolutely.
games where at the end of the game, you're at the game, you're riding home, listening to a post-game show, you're watching on TV, snap the TV off, and you think to yourself, man, Tkachuk had a game tonight, man. Like, there haven't been that many this year, and we're used to win or lose. Like, that happens, I won't say all the time, but a fair number of time where he's like the number one guy. If you think of positives from a game, even if they lost, well, Tkachuk, man, he really showed up tonight. Like, that hasn't happened this year.
No, there's
And
been more this year than ever before.
And last night was just again an exclamation point on what's been a down season so far.
and then everybody sees it, and then the conversation gets further to. Then the next question is why, and this is why you get all these texts. Oh, I think he's thinking about the Olympics. I think he's still injured. I think he can't play to his full physical identity because he's not necessarily injured, but his hands wrapped. Like this is where the conversation just keeps going and going because it is so strange to see this. We haven't seen this in his tenure in the National Hockey League as a member of the Ottawa Senators.
So then you ask yourself what's different, right, from seasons
that's
past.
the thing.
What are
Yeah.
the variables here? And
So those are
one
two
is
big
the
ones.
Winter Olympics. The other one is
The
his
injury.
hand, the injury,
Mhm.
since he's been back. The fighting element is out of his game right now. And
Well-
I'm going to lean into that a little bit in terms of him trying to adapt his game, knowing that that is not an option, or the intimidation factor isn't really an option out there right now for Brady Tkachuk. He's not. I don't want to use the term lost, but he's just trying to figure out exactly, how he can have an impact on this team. You can still have an impact on this team physically. You can still engage in the scrums and whatnot.
Mhm.
I'm wondering maybe it was tweaked, the injury, whatnot. There was one moment. Was the first game? Was it against the Leafs or the first game back home after Christmas, where there was a bit of a scrum and there was some wincing along the bench boards? If there's something to that,
I thought after he got up when Stanley dropped him, the sucker punch the other game, he kind of leaned over, and I think he was shaking out the cobwebs a bit as well, just leaned over. But I was wondering, man, is he favoring that hand, that whole jostling?
and maybe that was the moment there.
Like, I don't know.
Anyway,
And
well-
now it's in the back of his head.
yeah. Bottom line is again, and then the loss last night is not on Brady Tkachuk.
No.
But it's bigger picture. Why are the Senators in the position that they're in right now, which is on the outside looking in and the playoffs feeling every day just a little more in the distance? A huge part of that is they need their captain to be a better player. Bottom line. He needs to play the way that he typically plays. If he doesn't, I don't think they have a chance.